Alex stood at the edge of the outpost, staring into the swirling white of the storm. The icy winds whipped around him, slicing through his heavy coat as if the cold itself wanted to push him back inside. Out here, on the frozen planet of Clara 9, survival was a constant challenge, even for a trained human. The combination of sub-zero temperatures and unpredictable weather could be deadly. Yet Alex had grown accustomed to it, his instincts honed from years of work in extreme environments. The outpost itself was small, a compact structure of metal and reinforced glass, perched atop a ridge overlooking endless ice fields. Its lights glowed faintly in the storm, a beacon against the endless white. Inside, the temperature was controlled, and the hum of machinery provided comfort against the howling winds. Alex had been alone for days, monitoring climate patterns and collecting samples. His only companions the blinking consoles and the softest of heating vents. As he adjusted the settings on the thermal sensor, a sharp noise cut through the storm, a faint, desperate cry. Alex froze, listening. The sound came again, clearer this time, a voice, strained and weak, calling out in a language he didn't recognize. His instincts screamed caution. On this planet, strange noises could mean predators, malfunctioning equipment, or worse. But there was something human, or at least humanoid, about the tone. Someone was calling for help. Grabbing his insulated coat and a thermal flashlight, Alex stepped out into the storm. The wind pushed against him, making every step a struggle. Snow swirled in blinding sheets, and the temperature drop stung his cheeks. He followed the sound, moving carefully across the frozen landscape, every muscle tensed out. Then, through the blizzard, he saw her, a figure hunched against the wind, shivering violently. She was humanoid, yes, but unlike any human Alex had seen. Her skin glowed faintly in the storm's light, marked with luminous patterns that pulsed softly like distant stars. Her eyes were large, reflective, and seemed to shift colors with the snow. She looked fragile, frozen almost to the point of collapse. "Please," she gasped, her voice trembling. "I need shelter." Alex hesitated. He didn't know her, and this planet was dangerous. But she was clearly in danger, and something about her eyes, desperate, intelligent, alive, made him act. "Come inside." Quickly, he shouted over the wind, extending a hand. She struggled forward, her movements stiff and awkward, as if her muscles were nearly frozen. Alex helped her through the outpost door, shutting it against the storm with a hiss of heated air. She collapsed onto the floor, gasping for warmth, and Alex immediately pulled off his coat and wrapped it around her. "Thank you," she murmured, her voice soft but urgent. I didn't know if I would make it." "You're safe now," Alex said. "What happened? Where did you come from?" The woman Lyra, she finally said her name, was looked around the outpost, her luminous markings dimming slightly as her body warmed. She seemed to study everything with careful curiosity, touching surfaces and observing instruments. "My ship, it crashed," she said finally. "I was on a diplomatic mission. My people, we meant no harm. But the storm, it caught me." Alex nodded. "You're lucky I was here. Out here alone, no one survives a storm like this for long." Lyra's eyes flickered with something unreadable: relief, gratitude, maybe calculation. "I owe you," she said. "I can make it worth your while." Alex raised an eyebrow. "How exactly?" "I have knowledge," she said, her voice steady now. "Advanced knowledge. Technology, navigation. Things that could help your people survive in ways you cannot imagine." He frowned. He had heard stories of stranded aliens making impossible claims. But something about Lyra felt different. She was confident, but not threatening. And her body language, though cautious, suggested honesty. "All right," he said. "We'll talk more once you're warm. But first, you need to recover. The storm isn't letting up anytime soon." He guided her to a small seating area, and she sat down, curling her arms around herself. Alex activated the heating pads in the floor and walls, raising the temperature slowly to comfort levels. The hum of the outpost became a soothing backdrop to their tense silence. Lyra's gaze wandered to the instruments on the walls, then to the blinking lights of the console. "You have interesting technology," she said softly. "It is primitive compared to ours, but functional. Ingenious in its own way." Alex smiled faintly. We do what we can with what we have. Out here, you learn to be resourceful. Lyra nodded, her eyes reflecting both the warmth of the room and something else, curiosity, perhaps admiration. Resourcefulness. Humans are known for it. I see now that it is true. As the storm raged outside, they shared a simple meal. Alex had prepared reconstituted protein packs and warm tea. The act of eating together was strangely comforting, bridging the gap between species. Lyra's movements were careful, almost delicate, and Alex found himself watching her with a mixture of curiosity and caution. You mentioned making it worth my while, Alex said finally. Breaking the silence, Lyra's eyes twinkled faintly. I will show you technologies and knowledge that could change the way your world functions. I can teach you things your scientists have only dreamed of. In return, you give me shelter and perhaps your guidance to repair my ship. Alex considered her words. The idea of alien technology was tempting, but he was wary. Knowledge is dangerous in the wrong hands, he said. I need to trust you first. Lyra leaned back, her expression calm but intense. Then trust me by survival, she said. You have already saved my life. Let us survive the storm together. The rest can come later. Outside, the wind howled against the reinforced walls of the outpost, rattling the structure and whipping the snow into furious patterns. Inside, Alex and Lyra worked together to stabilize her condition, checking her vitals and warming her gradually. Each moment of cooperation, each shared glance, build a fragile bridge of trust. Hours passed. The storm did not abate, but inside, the outpost felt safer, warmer, almost alive. Alex found himself telling stories of human ingenuity, how humans had survived harsh planets, conquered deserts and frozen tundras, built machines to travel the stars. Lyra listened with rapt attention, her eyes reflecting the flickering lights and the excitement of ideas beyond her world. In return, she spoke of distant systems, of starships that moved faster than light, of civilizations bound together by knowledge and diplomacy. She hinted at threats, political struggles, and wonders far beyond Alex's comprehension. And through it all, she relied on him, on human courage and ingenuity to keep her safe and help her repair what had been damaged. The night deepened. Alex moved between the heating panels, the console, and the small kitchenette, ensuring that both of them had warmth and food. Lyra remained seated, recovering but always alert, her gaze often drifting to the window and the endless snow. Finally, she spoke softly, almost a whisper. You could have left me out there. Many humans would have. Why didn't you? Alex paused, staring at the storm outside. Because it's the right thing to do. Because surviving isn't just about yourself. Because humans, we don't give up on life when it's hard. Lyra studied him, and for a moment, her glowing markings brightened, pulsing in a pattern almost like a heartbeat. I understand. You are different from what I expected. Perhaps this will be a story worth telling. One day, Alex smiled faintly, a mix of relief and fatigue. Let's focus on getting through tonight first. The storm raged on, relentless and powerful, but inside the small outpost, two beings, one human, one alien, sat together, sharing warmth, knowledge, and a fragile trust. Outside, the world was a frozen, dangerous expanse. Inside, there was hope and the beginning of an alliance that could one day reach across the stars. And as Alex looked at Lyra, he realized that survival wasn't just about the body. It was about courage, trust, and the willingness to help even when the universe seemed determined to stop you. The night stretched on. The storm would not last forever, and when it cleared, both of them would face challenges greater than the cold. But for now, in this small, warm outpost, humanity had proven itself once again, brave, resourceful, and capable of saving even the most unlikely of strangers. And Lyra, she had found that human courage was something far more valuable than she had ever imagined. The morning light barely filtered through the thick storm clouds, casting a pale glow across the outpost. Inside, Alex moved quietly, checking instruments and ensuring the heating systems were stable. Lyra had slept through most of the night, recovering from the cold, but now she stirred, sitting up and stretching her limbs carefully. Her glowing markings flickered faintly, signaling warmth returning to her body. "You're awake early," Alex said, handing her a steaming cup of rehydrated tea. Lyra took it with both hands, savoring the warmth. "I could not sleep well, but I am stronger now. Thank you again, human. Your shelter saved me." Alex shrugged. "It's nothing. We all survive when we help each other. That's how humans do it." Lyra studied him, her large, reflective eyes thoughtful. "Humans are resilient. I see now that your species can endure conditions that even we struggle with. Your courage, it is remarkable." Alex smiled faintly but said nothing. He had learned long ago that words alone did not prove anything. Actions did. And he had plenty of actions ahead of him. "Tell me about your mission," he said. "If you are stranded here, there must be a reason." Lyra's gaze drifted to the window, where the storm's fury had weakened but not vanished. "I was traveling to a neighboring system," she began carefully. "My people, we are diplomats. We carry knowledge and technology to share with other worlds. But there are others who would misuse it. My mission is to ensure that the information is delivered safely, and that alliances are built to prevent conflict." Alex listened, fascinated. He had always been interested in interstellar travel, but this was far beyond any human exploration he had studied. "And your ship is damaged," she nodded. "Yes, the storm struck unexpectedly. My ship's propulsion systems failed, and I had no choice but to seek shelter here, without repairs. I cannot leave this planet safely, and without leaving, my mission will fail." Alex considered this. "I can help," he said finally. "I don't know your technology, but I can follow instructions. Together, we might get your systems operational again." Lyra's eyes brightened slightly, and she rose to her feet, moving to the small table where Alex kept tools and spare parts. "Then we begin. Survival first, then technology, for the next several hours." The two of them worked together. Alex learned quickly that Lyra's technology was complex. Unlike anything he had encountered, her ship's systems relied on energy, patterns, and circuits that seemed almost alive, glowing faintly when powered. Lyra explained the basics slowly, showing him how her instruments responded to different inputs. Alex followed each step with careful precision, amazed at how the alien devices functioned. "You are learning quickly," Lyra said, watching him adjust a delicate energy module. "Most humans would struggle. But you understand patterns, signals, and cause and effect. Your species, you have an instinct for survival that complements intelligence." Alex blushed slightly. Compliments were rare on this frozen planet, especially from an alien whose capabilities far surpassed his own. "I've survived worse storms," he said, "and I've learned to make things work when they shouldn't. That's how humans last out here." They worked in silence for stretches, broken only by the hum of machinery and the occasional crackle of static from the outposts. Communications console. Alex noticed how Lyra moved efficient, precise, and careful not to touch anything she didn't intend to. Her curiosity was tempered by caution, a balance that reminded him of his own approach. To survival. After a few hours, Lyra paused and gestured to a panel. "We will need materials from outside. The storm is lighter now, but the environment is still dangerous. I will guide you. Your understanding of the terrain and my instructions can make this work." Alex nodded, checking the temperature and wind speeds outside. The storm had indeed eased, though snow still whipped around the ridge and visibility was poor. "We need to move carefully. One wrong step out there, and the cold will get you." Lyra's markings pulsed softly. "I trust you to keep us safe." The two ventured outside, each step a careful calculation. Alex led the way, breaking trail through deep snow while Lyra followed, her limbs moving with grace despite the cold. They collected materials, reinforced metals, insulated wiring, and energy stabilizers discarded in previous expeditions. Alex marveled at Lyra's ability to identify what was useful, her alien knowledge guiding every movement. Suddenly, a sharp noise echoed across the ice. Alex froze, hand instinctively reaching for a tool that could double as a weapon. Out here, predators were rare but not impossible. Lyra's hand brushed his, calming him. "It is the wind," she said. "But stay alert. There's always danger. Alex nodded, appreciating her presence, even in the freezing expanse. Having another being who understood risk and survival made him more confident. Returning to the outpost, they worked late into the night, assembling a critical part of Lyra's ship. Alex's human ingenuity complemented her alien technology. When a connection failed, he improvised, using a metal brace and a series of insulated cables. Lyra observed silently, then nodded with approval. Adaptation. This is human strength. You saved the module. Ingenious. Hours passed. Exhaustion began to weigh on Alex. But he kept going. The work was not just technical, it was survival. Each successful repair brought them closer to safety, closer to leaving the icy planet. And with each success, the fragile trust between them grew stronger. During a break, Lyra handed him a small device. This is a universal translator. It will allow us to communicate with others in my species if needed. I want you to have it. You have earned my trust. Alex took it carefully, examining its smooth surface and glowing interface. Thanks, he said simply. That means a lot, especially out here. Lyra smiled faintly, her markings pulsing brighter. Out here, trust is survival, and human courage is rare. Yet it shines. They continued their work, and as dawn approached, the storm finally began to die down. The sky, once a solid sheet of gray, began to lighten with pale blue streaks. The wind lessened, and the cold, though still biting, was more manageable. Outside, the frozen landscape stretched endlessly, glittering in the dim morning light. Alex and Lyra stepped outside briefly to test the repaired module. The device hummed to life, sending a beam of energy across the ice, illuminating the surroundings with a soft, steady glow. Lyra's eyes reflected the light, her face filled with satisfaction. It works, she said, her voice soft but excited. With this, we can begin the final phase of repairs. My ship, it will fly again. Alex nodded, pride swelling in his chest. And it wouldn't have happened without both of us. You brought the knowledge. I brought, well, human stubbornness. Lyra laughed softly, a sound that seemed musical against the quiet of the morning. Human stubbornness. Yes, it is effective. Perhaps one day, your species will teach others this trait. They returned to the outpost, working side by side as the day progressed. Each repaired panel, each recalibrated system, was a step toward survival and a step toward trust. Alex found himself fascinated not just by Lyra's technology, but by her perspective, how she viewed the universe, the value she placed on alliances, and the depth of her mission. As evening approached, the repaired systems allowed limited communication with distant satellites. Lyra's relief was evident. Now we can reach the networks and inform my people of our status. Rescue or assistance would come faster. Alex watched her work, realizing that in helping her, he was participating in something far bigger than himself. Humanity, represented in him, was not just surviving. It was helping another species survive, proving its value in the vastness of space. Tomorrow, Lyra said, we can begin the final checks. The storm may have delayed us, but soon, we will leave this frozen world. Alex nodded, feeling a quiet satisfaction. He had saved a life, repaired alien technology, and survived another day on a hostile planet. And in doing so, he had discovered that human ingenuity, courage, and resourcefulness could bridge gaps between worlds, even in the face of overwhelming odds. As the cold night fell, they settled inside the outpost, the warmth of the heating systems a comfort after the day's work. Outside, the icy plains stretched into darkness, quiet except for the faint wind that whispered of more challenges to come. But inside, Alex and Lyra were safe. For now, survival was assured. Trust was growing, and humanity through Alex had proven that even on the most alien and dangerous worlds, it could endure, adapt, and thrive. The night stretched on, and as Alex watched Lyra finalize the final module checks, he realized that survival was more than a struggle against the elements. It was about courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to help, even when faced with the unknown. And he knew that tomorrow, whatever the planet or the stars might throw at them, they would face it together, because survival was not just about living, it was about connection, trust, and the human spirit shining even in the darkest, coldest places. The frozen plains of Clarinine stretched endlessly, shimmering under the faint light of a distant sun. Inside the outpost, Alex and Lyra worked tirelessly. The storm had subsided, but the world outside was still harsh and unforgiving. They had repaired much of Lyra's ship, but the final systems checks required delicate adjustments. Every moment mattered. The planet's cold could claim them if they became careless. As Alex calibrated a small energy relay, Lyra paused, her eyes narrowing toward the outpost's reinforced windows. "Alex, do you see that?" she whispered. Alex turned, squinting into the distance. Through the thin haze of snow still drifting across the plains, shapes moved too organized to be random, too precise to be the wind. "Whoop, or what is that?" he asked. Lyra's markings pulsed faintly, a rhythm Alex had come to recognize as her way of signaling stress. "They are my people," she said quietly. "A patrol. They were dispatched to find me. They will take me back. Whether I am ready or not." Alex froze. He had always known there were risks in helping Lyra, but he hadn't expected a direct confrontation so soon. They could be dangerous," he said. Why would they want to take you back?" "Because my mission is classified," Lyra explained. "Some of my people believe my actions here seeking your help, risking delay are reckless. They cannot understand why I would rely on a human. They see only protocol, not survival." Alex's mind raced. "And if they come inside, they could harm us. Or worse, prevent the ship from being repaired," Lyra said. Her voice, though calm, carried an undercurrent of tension. "We cannot allow that. We must decide. Escape or surrender. Each choice carries risk." Alex considered the patrol outside, moving in patterns designed to trap. He knew that surrendering would ensure Lyra's safety from a storm, but it might doom her mission. And the storm itself was unpredictable. The patrol might not survive if caught in its remnants. "We escape," he said firmly. "We've come this far. I'm not letting you go back to them until your ship is ready." Lyra nodded, a mixture of relief and worry in her eyes. "Then we must act carefully. Their sensors are advanced. Any misstep and we will be detected." Together, they began devising a plan. Using the outpost's energy shields and the repaired modules, they could create a diversion, flickering lights and temporary energy bursts to confuse the patrol sensors. Alex would guide Lyra to the ship while monitoring the approaching figures. Every movement was calculated, every step deliberate. Hours passed as they prepared. Finally, the patrol was close. The shadows of alien figures moving across the ice like ghosts in the fading light. Lyra's pulse accelerated, though her outward appearance remained calm. "Now," she whispered, and Alex activated the first diversion. Lights flickered across the outpost walls, energy beams firing intermittently to simulate malfunctioning equipment. Sensors outside registered chaos. The patrol slowed, scanning carefully, unsure of what was happening. Alex seized the moment, grabbing a small toolkit and motioning for Lyra to follow. They moved through the narrow passageways of the outpost, keeping low and silent. The storm outside, now weakened but still biting, masked their footsteps. Every crunch of snow underfoot made Alex's heart race. One wrong move, and the patrol would detect them. Finally, they reached the exterior, the ship glinting in the pale light of the dying storm. It was battered but functional, its panels repaired with Alex's ingenuity and Lyra's technology. She moved quickly to the control panel, activating the energy stabilization system while Alex monitored the patrol's positions. Suddenly, a signal blinked on the patrol's sensors. They were aware of movement. Alex's heart pounded. "Lyra, hurry," he whispered. She worked faster, her fingers dancing over controls he barely understood. Energy pulses ran along conduits, lighting up the ship with a soft blue glow. "Almost done," she said. A sharp noise erupted from the distant scent alarm from the patrol, detecting something unusual. Alex grabbed a reinforced panel, using it to create a temporary shield of energy bursts. "Move," he shouted. Together, they dashed to the ship. Lyra activated the thrusters, and the engines roared to life with a sound that shook the ground. The patrol advanced, but the ship's sudden lift and the clever use of energy shields allowed them to evade immediate capture. Alex's quick thinking altering the outpost's energy flows to create a decoy signal had bought them enough time to escape as the ship lifted into the sky. Lyra glanced at Alex with a mixture of gratitude and awe. "Your courage. It is remarkable," she said. "Without your quick thinking, we would have been caught. Humans. You are far more capable than I expected." Alex smiled, a mix of relief and pride. "We make a good team," he said simply. The ship cleared the atmosphere of Clarinine, leaving the icy planet behind. The patrol was far below, unable to follow in time. Inside, the cabin was warm, humming with power and quiet except for the soft beeping of instruments. Lyra exhaled, her tension easing slightly. "Now," she said, "we must address the final phase. The storm delayed our schedule, and my mission is critical. You have helped me survive, and now we must ensure the mission's success. There's knowledge aboard that must be delivered safely." Alex nodded. "Then we focus. But tell me more. What is so important that your species would risk conflict over it?" Lyra's eyes flickered as she explained. "There's a faction in our galaxy, one that seeks control over multiple systems. They do not value life as we do. My mission is to deliver intelligence that can prevent conflict warnings, technology, and guidance to allied worlds. Without this information reaching the right hands, entire civilizations, including yours, could face danger." Alex leaned back, absorbing the weight of her words. Humanity had survived countless challenges, but interstellar threats were different, vast, distant, and unknowable. And yet, here he was, a single human, playing a part in something that could affect countless lives. Lyra noticed his expression. "Do not underestimate your role. Humans. You have resilience, adaptability, and ingenuity that are unmatched. The galaxy may not yet realize it, but you are capable of making a difference." Alex's mind raced with possibilities. "Then we make sure the mission succeeds. We can't let them stop us." For the next several hours, they prepared the ship for departure. Lyra guided him through systems he barely understood, teaching him to manage energy flows, calibrate sensors, and stabilize propulsion modules. Alex learned quickly, his human problem-solving skills complementing her advanced knowledge. As they worked, they shared stories, Lyra of distant civilizations, Alex of human exploration and survival. Despite the danger and tension, a bond formed between them. They trusted each other, relied on each other's strengths, and faced the unknown together. Then, a sudden alert broke the calm. A distant vessel had entered the system, moving with intent. Lyra's pulse quickened, her markings flashing brighter. "They have found us," she said. "A faction loyal to the patrol. They are approaching. We must prepare for evasive maneuvers." Alex's heart raced, but he felt no fear, not truly. He had survived storms, predators, and isolation. Now, he faced another challenge, outrunning a pursuing vessel in a hostile sector of space. And he would do it. Lyra activated the ship's stealth systems, bending light and energy to mask their presence. Alex monitored their course, adjusting thrusters to take advantage of gravitational currents and asteroid fields. The pursuing vessel was fast, but their knowledge of the terrain and their human-alien teamwork gave them an edge. Hours passed as they navigated carefully, weaving through asteroid belts and avoiding patrol scans. Alex's quick thinking and improvisation saved them multiple times, rerouting energy flows and creating temporary decoys. Lyra marveled at his ingenuity, each action reinforcing the value of human adaptability and courage. Finally, the pursuing vessel lost their trail, unable to match the combined efforts of human problem-solving and alien technology. Lyra exhaled, relief washing over her. "We are safe for now," she said softly. Alex nodded, exhausted but exhilarated. "We've come far, and we're not done yet." Lyra smiled faintly, her markings dimming to a steady glow. "No, our mission is only beginning. But you have proven that humans are not to be underestimated. Courage, resourcefulness, these are your strengths. I am fortunate to have you by my side." As the ship glided through the quiet of space, Alex looked at the vastness before him. The galaxy was immense, full of unknown dangers and possibilities. Yet he felt ready, With Lyra's knowledge and his human ingenuity, he could face whatever lay ahead. For survival was more than enduring storms or escaping threats. It was about courage, trust, and using every skill to overcome the impossible. And Alex had proven, once again, that humanity could rise to any challenge even when the odds seemed insurmountable. Together, they moved toward the next stage of their journey, delivering the critical intelligence, evading threats, and forging a path through the unknown. And in that vast, cold expanse of space, the bond between human and alien grew stronger, a testament to resilience, ingenuity, and the enduring spirit of survival. The stars stretched endlessly outside the ship's viewports, a vast, silent expanse that seemed both beautiful and dangerous. Inside, the hum of the engines provided a steady rhythm, a reminder that despite everything, they were alive and moving forward. Alex sat at the console, checking energy flows and navigation data, while Lyra hovered near the controls, her fingers dancing over alien panels with practiced precision. "They're still out there," she said quietly, glancing at the scanner. "The faction that tried to intercept us. They are monitoring our route. If we make any mistake, they could catch up." Alex didn't flinch. He had faced storms, predators, and hostile patrols. Space was just another challenge. "Then we make fewer mistakes. We stick to the plan, and we use the terrain to our advantage." Lyra studied him, her luminous markings pulsing softly. "Your confidence. It is unusual for humans. Most would hesitate, fear overwhelming them. But you act, even when the odds are against you. That is remarkable." Alex smiled faintly. "Survival isn't about fear. It's about thinking, reacting, and never giving up. That's what humans do." She nodded, almost reverently, and returned to her console. Together, they plotted a course through a dense asteroid field, a natural shield against pursuit. The navigation was treacherous. One wrong move could mean collision. But the field also offered protection. Alex guided the ship, adjusting thrusters with steady hands, while Lyra monitored energy flows, ensuring the engine stayed stable under stress. Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by alerts when rocks grazed the ship or energy shields flickered. Alex's human ingenuity came to the forefront, improvising adjustments to balance the ship's weight and stabilize power distribution. Lyra observed, impressed by his quick thinking and adaptability. "You are extraordinary," she said finally, her voice quiet but filled with awe. "No human I have encountered could have done this. You have saved us more times than I can count." Alex shrugged. "I've survived worse, and I've learned to make the impossible work." The asteroid field finally opened into clear space. The stars stretched infinitely ahead. Alex exhaled, feeling the tension ease slightly. But he knew better than to relax completely. Danger could return at any moment. Lyra's scanner beeped. "We are approaching the system where my mission must be delivered. It is a controlled world, heavily monitored. We must be cautious. Detection here could compromise everything." Alex nodded. "Then we go slow, precise. No mistakes." As they approached the planet, they encountered automated defenses, orbital drones scanning for unauthorized ships. Lyra quickly took control, blending human intuition with alien technology. Alex watched her work, fascinated by how she anticipated the drones' movements, using energy pulses and reflective shields to mask their approach. "Almost there," she whispered. "Just a little further." Suddenly, an alert flashed on the console. A pursuing vessel had detected them again, closing in fast. Alex's heart raced, but he focused. He analyzed the trajectory, spotting a narrow route through an asteroid cluster that could shake the pursuer. "Follow my lead," he said calmly. Lyra's hands moved quickly, trusting his instincts. The ship weaved through the cluster, dodging massive rocks and using gravitational pulls to change speed. The pursuing vessel struggled to keep up, its sensors unable to adjust to the unpredictable maneuvers. Alex's human ingenuity and quick thinking gave them the edge they needed. Finally, the enemy ship gave up the chase, retreating into deep space. Lyra let out a relieved breath, her markings pulsing slowly as she relaxed. You have saved us again," she said softly. Alex smiled faintly. "We make a good team." The planet loomed ahead, a mixture of oceans, green continents, and sprawling cities. Lyra's mission required them to land undetected and deliver critical intelligence to a diplomatic council. She guided the ship to a hidden landing zone, a small plateau surrounded by dense forests. Far from automated scans, the landing was smooth, a testament to both Alex's piloting skills and Lyra's precise calculations. As the engines powered down, they stepped onto solid ground. The air was breathable, but slightly different from Clear 9, mild and filled with unfamiliar scents. Alex took a deep breath, feeling the relief of a mission still alive. Lyra led him to a secure building where the council awaited. She explained the purpose of her mission, delivering intelligence about a hostile faction planning to conquer several worlds, including Earth. The council listened intently, impressed by her foresight and the humans' role in their survival. "You brought him with you?" one council member asked, astonished. "A human. Why?" Lyra's markings glowed gently. "Because his courage and ingenuity ensured our survival. Humans. They adapt, they improvise, they face impossible challenges without hesitation. He proved that humanity is not to be underestimated." Alex felt a mixture of pride and humility. He had never expected to receive such recognition, especially from an alien council. But he understood the significance. Humanity's resilience, courage, and intelligence had made a difference on an interstellar scale. The council accepted the intelligence, impressed by both the content and the delivery. Lyra's mission was officially a success, and she ensured that Alex's contributions were noted. The humans' capabilities, resourcefulness, adaptability, and courage were now recognized in a galaxy far beyond Earth. As they left the council chambers, Lyra turned to Alex. "Your role was invaluable. Without you, my mission could have failed. I owe you more than I can express." Alex shrugged. "I did what had to be done. That's how humans survive, and I guess I'm glad I could help." Lyra's markings pulsed brighter. "This is not the end. There are more missions, more challenges. But I would like you to continue with me. Together, we can ensure the safety of countless worlds." Alex considered this. He had survived storms, hostile patrols, and alien technologies. He had faced dangers no human had ever seen and had emerged not just alive, but instrumental in a mission that could save civilizations. "Then I'll go," he said finally. "If humanity can help, I'll be there." Her eyes brightened. "Excellent. Then our alliance begins. You are no longer just a survivor. You are a representative of humanity's courage, ingenuity, and spirit." As they prepared to depart, Alex looked out at the planet below. The forests, the oceans, the cities, they were beautiful, alive, and full of possibilities. And somewhere, far across the galaxy, humans would continue to thrive, explore, and adapt. Just as he had. Lyra's ship lifted off once more, engines humming steadily. Alex settled into the co-pilot's seat, ready for whatever lay ahead. The stars stretched endlessly, full of challenges, opportunities, and unknown dangers. But he felt ready. Humanity had survived impossible odds before, and now, through him, they had made a mark in the galaxy. The journey ahead was uncertain. But one thing was clear: courage, ingenuity, and the human spirit could overcome even the vastness of space. And together, Alex and Lyra would face every challenge, every threat, and every adventure that awaited them side by side. Outside, the universe sparkled, cold but full of life. Inside, humanity's resilience shone brighter than ever. And as the stars passed by, Alex realized that survival wasn't just about enduring, it was about leaving a mark, making a difference, and proving that even in the coldest, most dangerous places, humans could rise to greatness. Lyra looked at him, her markings pulsing in time with his own excitement. "Human, you are extraordinary. I am honored to have you by my side." Alex smiled. "And I'm honored to be here. Let's make sure our story doesn't end on this planet. Let's keep surviving, learning, and proving that humans, we are capable of anything." The ship accelerated toward the unknown, leaving behind frozen worlds, hostile patrols, and storms conquered. Ahead lay adventure, danger, and discovery. And Alex, human, survivor, and now allied to a species beyond imagination, was ready to face it all. Because humanity did not give up, Humanity adapted, and humanity always found a way. And together, human and alien would make the galaxy take notice.